That's the Lord telling you to move forward, right? Just as last time. And I like everything cleared out, so rearrange here. I thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it. We got some guests and those that may be watching at home later. I'm glad that they're watching. That's exciting. So why don't everybody turn to each other and just say, thank you for being here, right? It's on a day like this, right? Turn to your neighbor, thank you. We could have been anywhere. Yeah. We could, yeah. We could have been anywhere doing anything, especially on a day like this, a rainy day, There's a lot of things we'd rather do. And you know what? Neighbors, turn back and tell everybody you're welcome, right? You're welcome, right? It takes two. So thank you for being here, and you're welcome that I'm here. Yeah. So a couple interesting things happened. Before I get started, I just wanted to go over some stuff. I got a really unusual setup today. Last time I preached a couple of months ago, and I was fortunate to do that. Secretly, I had a second part to that message. And when I was asked to preach again today, I'm like, oh, this is easy. I didn't even hesitate. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, yep, I'll be there. Because I had it all planned out, right? And the funniest question kept coming up. Well, not funny, but the question that kept coming up is, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? Which is interesting. I don't know if people want to see, did they? Like, is that why they're asking me? My mom's asking, are we going to keep it under a half hour? Pastor Deborah's like, oh, you can go 2 hours, whatever. It's a big contrast. I don't know exactly how that's going to go, but I had the message in my mind. And it was all planned out. Unfortunately, the Lord intervened. Well, I guess fortunately, the Lord intervenes as he does with a lot of things. And probably it was around Wednesday morning, I woke up, right? I woke up maybe 2, 3 in the morning, and I had so many things on my mind, like so many possibilities of what to say out of the blue. I couldn't take it all in. It was like a crashing wave just of all these thoughts and emotions. And oh wait, let me back up. Not crashing wave. That's not right. It was more like a filling cup, right? Like a cup that fills up, and there were just so many things from inside me maybe coming out. A wave is kind of destructive, and that's not the visual I want to give, because it's not like I woke up frightened or anything. I'm in bed, like, looking at Michelle, is she going to wake up? Right? With all these things in my mind. So I went out and I started praying a little bit and trying to just clear my mind, because I had the message set, but all these other things. And I think it had to do with the people that I thought may come, or the people that may be watching, and the things that I really felt driven to get out. The ideas to get out for them to hear. And it becomes overwhelming. Now I understand what Pastor Deborah talks about when she mentions that. But maybe you feel that way in your life sometimes. There's so many things just coming out, and you don't know what direction to take. So I prayed about it, and I was clearing my mind, and it just kept coming to me that people are trapped. And we're trapped with so many thoughts and so many different ideas and interpretations of things, and it's trapping us. So I went with that. So what I did is I took a bunch of notes from what I was going to preach originally, the second part, and this newfound inspiration, and I tried to combine it. So I made notes, and I'm going to try to stay on track, okay? And I'm going to try to stay within a good amount of time, and I'm going to try to keep it all together, okay? I talked to Michelle about it. We were joking, and I told her, I'm going to work it in. We're going to work it in right now. I said, I'm going to work it in. And, again, what are you going to talk about? You said, oh, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to get a flamethrower out there. And I'm just going to blast the audience with this is how hot hell is, right? I worked it in. Barb was all for it. We took a vote at the office. She was like, yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, let's do that. So without any further ado, or any hesitation to get this thing started, because Mom's hungry. You see the message there, escape room, unlock your own door. That honestly was not the original title, but I combined the two things. So thanks again for everybody being here. And let's get started. Let's turn to, if you have it in your Bibles, well, you have it in your Bibles. Yeah. If not, I got this. Boom. Works so easy. It's a long running joke there. Turn to Revelation 3:20. Revelation 3:20. Okay, if you don't have a Bible, you read it right off the screen. That's fine. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come to him, right? And he with me. So, this revelation was written by the Apostle John, and it was for a bunch of churches. Now, theologians, right? Theologians. When I started reading into this, they debate a lot of really, really deep thought into these passages. And I want to bring to light something is that a passage means something to you depending on where you are in your walk. So that's why it takes everybody speaking the word of God to everybody else. Because where you are as a Christian in your walk will determine how you're going to perceive a certain scripture. So if I read this scripture 10 years from now, it may mean something totally different to me. Right? Make sense, everybody? Okay, second thing I want everyone to make sense of is that he's not actually knocking on a literal door. So when we talk about these things, it's not, God's not out there. Hey, can you let me in? I'm outside your house, right? That's not what we're talking about. So it's a grander thing than that. But these things are debated a lot, especially when you search and you try to study. I want you to take the passages and the message that I shared today, just where you are today as a Christian, simplify it, right? Relax, enjoy it, okay? It's fun. So I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come to him, right? So this door, the door is where I always get caught up in a couple words in a passage. So the door is interesting to me, and we decided, right, together that it's not a literal door. So what is it? It's something inside you that is what I would think is a barrier or a blockage, at least how I interpret it today. And these barriers and these blockages are formed by ourselves, through our own minds and our own thoughts. And as this passage of Revelation was given to these churches, they had blockages, right, on these different islands. They had blockages, these groups of people, and they had become self-centered and kind of full of themselves, okay? So this is what can happen to us. Let me turn this here. Sorry, again, I got a lot of thoughts, and I'm trying to stay organized. Okay. So the Lord is not out there knocking on your door, okay? He's not physically knocking on your door. And it's funny because when I think about how we are as a people, but back in the day, a long time ago when I was younger, if someone knocked on your door, right, you'd get really excited. Who's there? Let me go answer it, Door. Now someone knocks on your door, and who is it? Everyone locked down. Who's at the door, right? And as a society, everything changed for us like that, right? We're not open to that interruption in our daily lives. We're not open to that interruption. And that creates a blockage and a disconnect or a barrier from the Lord, right? And we're consumed by more worldly things. We're consumed by what we can get or what we can collect, and not just material things. You think about material things, and you have your house, and you're collecting things, and the more things, someone just moved, right? You're collecting more and more things, and then what happens when you get too much stuff? You move, and you get like a bigger place, right? You just keep expanding. The same thing happens emotionally. All right, if you think about that for a minute. The same thing happens emotionally, that you're collecting different hurts, right? If you ever been lied to, right? Someone's ever done something, cheated on something for you, or something in a way that didn't belong to them, stole from you, or maybe you did it to them. Now, it's hard to imagine that anyone here would do anything wrong, right? Because it's hard to imagine, but it happens, and I'll tell you that no matter how good you think you are the bad person in someone's story, right? You're the bad person in someone's story. So it's okay, okay? But we collect those things and those emotions and those different types of hurts, and we collect them into our room. And our room is not a literal door, right? A room is inside of you. And as that builds up in there, and that barrier builds up, you shelter yourself from the Lord. And that's what this is talking about, okay? Right? That It's funny, it says that the Lord is standing at the door and knocking. And I'm going to flip something on you, and it's going to maybe seem a little unusual, right? He's standing at the door knocking. He created us, right? He gave us the spark of life. He's inside of you already. He's not knocking to get in. He's in there. Think about it. He's in there, right? It's unusual that, we're accepting the Lord and we think about him coming in. I think about it like that overflowing cup of water that I had where everything is coming out. That means he's inside of you already. He's the spark that gave you life. How can he not already be in there? Right? You know who's outside trying to get in? I'll tell you right now, knocking on your door is the devil. Think about it. The Lord works from the inside out. Out. He's in the room with you already. He knows what's in all your drawers. He knows what you're stuffing in the closet, right? He knows the junk drawers. Okay? We all have it. You open it up, there's yarn in there, stapler, right? He knows your hurts too. He doesn't have to knock to get in. How can we box up something so magnificent that gave us life to think that he doesn't know, right? That we're able to hide that kind of stuff. So he's on the inside already with you. He's in that room. He's trying to help you open your own door. Okay? He's trying to get you to put that aside. Now the devil, he's coming in from the outside in. This is definitely in the wrong order, just to let you know. He's coming from the outside in. And why do I say that? Well, let's think about that for a minute. If the Lord is on the inside out, controlling our insides, the devil can't get in there. But he can affect what we see. He can affect what we hear. He can affect the interpretation of the people we meet. Right? Who lied to me? Right? He can affect you from the outside through sight, your mind, right? But not your spirit, not your soul. That's protected, and that's stuffed in there. But from the outside, he can come in and interfere with that connection. Make sense? Maybe not. So what do we do? What do we do? You have to let it go, right? You have to realize that those things in the gloriness of God, those sins you have, those mistakes you've made, and those things that people have done to you are really small. Now, the devil will have you believe the other way because he's affecting your mind and he's affecting what you see, right? You have to put those things aside, right? You have to trust in the Lord. Okay? You're locking yourself in. You're locking yourself in and you're filling your room so much, right? That originally you're trying to hold everything in, okay? Because you're putting so much stuff in there, right? And then eventually you turn around and you're trying to hold everybody out. Make sense to you? You're trying to hold everybody out, right? And why? Because we can't make mistakes as Christians? Probably, that's what we think, right? We can't do no wrong. Nobody in this room can make a mistake. What would they think of us? They already know. Everyone knows that I make a lot of mistakes, right? I'll agree to that, right? So what are we hiding from? Why are we hiding from each other? Why does the same hurts that we do to ourselves and maybe mistakenly do to others, why isn't that shared? Why isn't that opened up as much? You know, embarrassment probably, right? Christians can't lie. Christians can't. And let me tell you, that's the first thing that happens when you make any kind of mistake. Aren't you a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian. You know, there's only one perfect one. I mean, I'm sorry, right? That role was taken. It's not me. So that's how I like to respond to that. Well, aren't you a Christian? Yes, I am a Christian. Not the Christian. Okay, I'm one, right? So we have to think about why can't we share that? And we have to open up and realize that your hurts and your pains and your sufferings not only are forgiven, but they're needed by everybody in this room. And what do I mean by that? People need to be able to relate. So if you're holding everybody out with that door, because everything you have in there, that stuff's valuable. That stuff's valuable. I had a conversation with my mother. And she was telling me that she came here on the wrong Sunday last week. Came here, well, it turned out to be the right Sunday, if you talk to her now, okay? And we're not going to go into too much detail about that. That's not what the message is about. But I will tell you that as we had a conversation, I was very happy, and I wanted to just give her all kind of advice, right? Because she kept saying, what do I do with this on the way I felt? What do I do? What do I do? Well, instead of us going out looking to get something from Best Buy, or looking to get something from a shopping mall, I don't know, fancy shoes, ladies, I don't know, right? Bigger TVs for the guy. Instead of going to the church looking to get something, I wanted to tell my mom on the phone, but I'm waiting until now. Bring that story with you because other people need to hear it.
Amen. That's right.
They need to hear those things and believe, you know, I feel that too. And not everybody is going to feel that, but somebody may. And that somebody needs to hear that story on how you felt, you know, and you didn't know what to do with it, and how can you pass that on? If you come and share that story, you'll pass it on to somebody, and then someone will have that same story. Isn't that better than locking everybody out?
Yes.
I think so. I think it's a lot better, you know? And we're called to do that. We're called to do that, you know, that type of stuff. Again, I went a little out of order. This is gonna. Keith, you're gonna be able to follow me up easy, buddy. Okay. So we'll go to Proverbs. Okay, 3, 5, 6. Okay. So when all these things are happening to you and you don't know what to do, right? And I like to turn to this. I read this again several times. You know, has anybody ever get caught like reading the same passages over and over and over, and you don't understand why? I don't know. I get like stuck, like I'm in a warp of the same thing over and over and over. And I it's weird. I regret that. I regret it because, well, shouldn't I be reading like more and more verses every day, not like the same one over and over and over and every, you know? Michelle's probably tired of hearing about Ecclesiastes. I mean, the guy's so depressing. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. And I read it over and over. You know, I don't know. So behold, I stand at the door. Oh wait. Oh, would I go backwards? Oh, see, it gets you.
See?
Yeah. Yeah. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And do not lean on your understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Straight. So what do we have to do? We got to acknowledge him, right? That's him on the inside of you. And you got to acknowledge that he's already there. He's not at your door. Hey, can I come in? No. Why would the creation of everything have to like knock? Isn't that kind of sad, right? That's just a weird visual to me, right? Understand that he's already with you and acknowledge him. That opens the door. The acknowledgement. When you agree that he is our Savior and our only way, that acknowledgement breaks that down. Okay? Then, after that happens, you're able to get filled up, like I explained earlier. And I'm sure people in here have gone through that. Let me tell you, I've been filled up and I've been empty. Filled up and empty. Like my cup is just poured out. And then it filled up again. But he will make your path straight. Notice in this, another interesting thing, he didn't say he'd make your path easy. Yeah. He didn't say in there that he's going to make your path short. Anybody notice that? Oh, yeah. Not easy, not short. Right? But straight. It's interesting when there's a lot of things that pop up on like doors, right? I got a door and opportunity. I want to see if this door opens for me, right? Does this door, this door closes and that means I shouldn't do that. There's literally two doors. There's a door inside you, which we're not talking about actual doors, right? There's a door inside you, and there's a door into heaven, and a straight line in between. Mm-hmm. All these other doors, I don't know where this philosophy is coming from. I mean, I get it. I get it that you don't know maybe what choice is the best, right, in your straight row. So maybe that's where that's coming from. Or like a lot of things, we're going to touch on it some more, is that the devil, right, makes it seem like you should have all these choices. Yes. Yes. Right? You should have all these doors of opportunity. You should have all these choices to do different things. One straight path. Two doors. Inside you and the one to heaven. And now we don't know how long your path is or how short it is. Right? We don't know. Or how bumpy it is. But it's a straight path. The reason those doors aren't open for you is that that's not your door. Right? The first question you should ask, and I did not realize this until later in my life, okay, is when these doors of opportunity, the first question I should have asked, sorry, honey, shouldn't have been, how will it affect my wife? Sorry, kids, shouldn't have been, how will it affect my kids? The first question I should have asked is, will this opportunity, or this door, how will this affect my relationship with the Lord? Because everything else would take care of itself. Right? If you stay straight to the Lord, and the door how will this affect my path, my straight path to the Lord? The devil will have you go to the right, to the left, right? Thinking success, thinking money, right? We all like that, money, right? Messes up my relationship. There were years where I was focused on it. I didn't even have a lot of it, right? Now I'm proud to say I feel that it's definitely the other way, Now focus on that. Focus on my relationship with the Lord, and then everything else seems to fall into place. I don't know. It's very unusual. Success. Success for what? Right? We all have jobs. Are we going to get to heaven and be like, hey, I'm going to be the best whatever I was on earth, Stock clerk, meat cutter, right? Maintenance guy. We got truck drivers. We got stuff. You know, no. Not how it works, right? So straight path. Not going to be easy. Doesn't say it in there. We all understand that. We've lived lives. No matter what age you are in this room, you've had a struggle, you know, and you've had a hurt, and you've had a problem. And you know what the most important, you know what the greatest hurt or the greatest problem is? Your own. Because it's yours. That's the most important hurt. That's the most important problem. Yours. That's what affects your relationship to be on that straight path to the Lord. Your own. And we don't recognize that a lot of times as Christians or people. Okay? We don't recognize that. My problem's, you know, better than your problem. No, their problem is theirs. And it's super important to them. Super important. And we have to recognize that. You know? We'll come back to that. It's the right one, and I'm out of order in my mind. I don't know. So Matthew 7:13-14. And I think I am out of order. It's okay. We'll get back in there. Okay? Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life. And those who find it are few. Huh. If you read that first part, right? Enter by the narrow gate. Got it. Narrow gate. But for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. For the gate is wide and easy. If you're listening to a lot of things on TV or listen to the concept of heaven from individuals, the gate is wide and the way is easy, and they stop. What do I mean by that? Well, it seems like everybody can get into heaven. I flip through TV and I'm watching some of these other churches, and nothing wrong with it. I get it. They're trying to get to the masses. Love it. Love it. Make it seem like, hey, open up your door, accept Jesus. That's it. Gates wide, everybody's in. It's not true. The path is narrow, straight. Not wide and easy. It almost sounds like when you see that, and that's when that comes in, right? This is a middle of the ground. Okay, this is a middle of the ground picture because we have these tremendous gates. You see light and angels and right, wide. Everybody coming in. Then I've seen some where it's just like a door. This in between. Visual, right? Visual in the concept that the world wants you to believe. That everybody's going to get in this huge gate. How could Jesus, God, the creation of all things, and live a life so simple, and we think that we're going to walk into this? That's not what it says. At least to me now, right? Enter by the narrow gate. So you're on a tight path, right? Narrow path. And you're going to enter by a narrow gate, straight. Not this huge, wonderful, blistering, lighted up gate, right? You're on a tightrope almost, okay? And you're focusing, right? What do you do when you're on a tightrope? You're focused, okay? If not, right? If you're on a tightrope to the door to heaven, right, to the Lord, you're focused. Right? Devil throws something at your door over here. What happens? Right? I wasn't sure if I was going to break this up. I love visuals, and I couldn't bring the flamethrower, right? So hold on. Don't get excited. Hold on. Oh, and when I was doing this morning, this was a this morning thing. No, this was a this morning thing. All right, look at that. Hold that. You can sit there. Hold that. Look at that. Now, you can't see this on TV. I'm not going to walk on it. Right? Look at that. No, just hold it right there. Look at that. What if it was this narrow? One straight path. One straight path that may be like this, right? Because we have ups and downs, right? One straight path like this. We don't know how long it is. But believe me, it's narrow. And you're on here. And your focus has got to be right there. Right? Because as soon as your focus comes off, you can't stand on this. Right? Narrow. Okay? Last minute, no flamethrower. So we got to stay on that path. Now we're on that path, right? And not everything is a trial when you're on that path. Okay? Not everything is a tragedy when you're on that path. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you're facing situations, right? Because someone cuts you off in line or cuts you off in traffic, that's not a trial. We throw that word out for everything. And I believe, again, that's the outside coming in, that, oh, everything's a trial. You're facing everything, all these hardships. You must be a great Christian. You know, not everything is like that, right? Some who can relate that are in customer service out there. If someone demands something that you don't have on the shelf, that situation is not a trial. Okay? Because, you know, you're having a bad day, that's not a trial. And when you read through the Bible, and I encourage you to do so, to get your own word from God on how you're going to interpret that. But all those things are not trials. The trial is the moment after that situation happens. Who are you, right? Because the devil was allowed to interfere with a lot of people. Right? Don't kill them. You can do whatever you want. Right? Those situations on how those things were handled, that's the trial. You build your own trial. The more times you can't handle a minor situation in your life, is the more times you're building your own trial. And you're creating on your path this long, drawn out, right, hardship. Because you're not handling those situations over and over and over. I don't know how much, you know, God cares about if someone takes my parking spot. I don't know. I mean, right? But He does care on how I handle that situation when someone takes my parking spot. Think about that, you know? If we're dealing with a customer, or we're dealing in my wife tells me some crazy stories. I'm going to go to, and my daughter too, with some of the people they got to deal with. But those people on the phone that are angry and yelling at you, first of all, we have to realize that whatever situation they're going through is the most important to them. We may not understand it, right? But that situation is not a trial in your life that day. It's the moment you hang up that phone and how you dealt with it. Did you honor God in that moment, in the moment after? Or did you succumb to what you're building as your own trial? Think about that. Right? So there's a lot of fake trials and a lot of things that we just want to anguish over for no reason. Get away from that. right? Get away from that. Get away from thinking about that every little bad thing that happens must be from God. He's trying me. No. No. Really? The moment after is when he's trying you. He allows things to happen throughout your life. It's free will. You create your own trial through free will. Think about that. Okay, let's get this thing rocking. Mom's getting on. Okay. Luke 13, 24 to 27. Strive to enter through the narrow door. For many, I tell you, will seek to enter, and will not be able. There we go, narrow door, right? Many will seek to enter. So it's not big, it's not like everybody's going through, as the world would have you believe, or the devil would have you believe. Right? When once the master of the house has risen and shut the door, and you begin to stand outside and knock at the door saying, Lord, open to us. Then he will answer to you, I do not know where you come from. Let's stop there. Who's knocking? Yeah, right? Shoes on the other foot now, right? We want to get let in, but we didn't want to let in the Lord. Think about that. Right? Hey. No, can't come in, no. Remember when I was on the other end of that string? Trying to get you to open up? Now we're the knockers. Caught me by surprise. I hadn't thought about that. I mean, this is another passage that I had read over and over. Didn't really see too much in that till recently, right? Till recently. Then you would begin to say, we ate and drank in your presence, and you taught in our streets. But he would say, I tell you, I do not know where you come from. Depart from me, all you workers of evil. Right? That part in there, that gets real deep when you start looking online and trying to read different books. That last part gets real deep. We're not going to get it. That'd be a whole Sunday on itself. I'll leave that for Pastor Deborah to explain all that. Right? Yeah, she gets deep in that stuff. So, yep. Right? But depart from me. And don't be mad about that. Right? Because if you live your whole life trying all other doors and trying all other avenues and not staying straight from one door to the other, right? Focused. And you didn't allow in, don't feel bad about that. You had your chance. That whole road, you had your chance. And you don't know how long that road is. You don't know how long that path is. You know, you're on a freeway getting off on all different kind of exits. Off, wrong one, back on, off, back on. You created all the problems yourself because the first decision you didn't make was to open your door, right? He's already in there. Let him fill you up and out, and then on other people like I am today, right? The second thing is you didn't stay straight. You didn't stay focused. The first decision you made was how is this going to affect my relationship with the Lord? Oh, that's no good. I'm not looking at that door straight. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, as we finish up today, okay, because I'm on a good time. I'm on a good time. As we finish up today, I want you to think about where you are on that path right now. Okay? And I want you to think about that the stuff in the baggage, or what you consider baggage, is needed. It's needed to be shared, right? And you have to bring that with you, and you have to share it along the way. Because those opportunities for someone to hear you will help them get back on the path, right? Straight. If you hold it all inside and keep it to yourself, when you get to the end, it's no good. Right? I mean, that's simply put. No good. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Doors. Right? Doors. And what I mean is, any one of those could be the straight door, and any one of those could be the wrong door. Right? And any one of those is someone else's door. Don't worry about other people's doors. Worry about your own. And once you acknowledge, right, and trust in the Lord, and you're on that path, He's going to fill you up. Right? He's going to fill you up, and it's going to come out. Okay? And then individuals around you and other Christians around you and people in this worship now or people watching at home, someone, somewhere will get it. And go, yeah, and that's all you need. One. Right? Don't fill yourself up with the things in this life that's a blink. It's not what's important. I've been there, I know. You know, I know. I tried to fill up bigger TVs, cooler cars, right? Ladies, fancier shoes, right? How many can we? Right? We've all been there. And I don't mind sharing it because it's important, right? So as I close, I think you said if I push one more button. If you need any prayer or you need to share anything, I'll be up here. I'm sure Pastor Dave will be up here. My son will be up here because we need a little man presence. And we'll be happy to pray for you or share with you. Okay, it was a little mixed up. I actually think I left some stuff out. That'll be next time. Right? Amen. Feel free to come up. If not, you're dismissed. And I appreciate your time.